All right, so for the second video for chapter 12, I just want to spend time on talking about the effects that can happen on the environment. And again, what you have to realize, it's a long process and there's many steps, and each step has its effect on the planet. So obviously we go after high grade ore first. We're going to talk about the different types of mining and some of the problems with it. But then the processes as we go along start to also cause environmental effects. And then what we have to realize is once we're out of the high grade ores, then we start looking at lower grade ores, and that can even be more harmful to the environment. So there are shallow mining techniques where you dig up, and there's surface mining where you just go after shallow deposits, but you do have to remove the top layer of vegetation, living stuff, and rock. And so you know, depending on where that is and what the environment looks like will determine what's actually done. You have on the right hand side, you can see some open pit mining. This is where you dig deeper and deeper holes to get after the ore that's obviously deeper. We have strip mining, and what you do is kind of do it in a layer. The ore is actually in a certain layer, so that's what you go after, and that requires a lot of damage, and that's how we actually take out coal. Coal is usually done in strip mining. All right, so there's more techniques. Contour strip mining, so you do it on terraces on the sides, and they do this again for coal. So you might leave some undisturbed land on top, but you're going into the strip trying to clear out coal. Mountaintop mining, where you just remove the top of the mountaintop with dynamite, that as you can imagine is very destructive. And then subsurface mining, that's the deep mole coal mines you hear about. Places like Appalachia also uses that, where they go in and people are down there, and health for those workers are terrible, especially respiratory problems. All right, and a problem in the mining also has solid waste that have to be dealt with. 40% of the Western mountain watersheds in the United States are polluted from mining operations because of all the excess solid waste. It's responsible for half of the toxic chemicals released into the environment. And we also have something called tailings. Tailings are left usually in piles, depending on how they are stored. Winds can cause issues and cause air, water problems. And then we also have the idea of smelting, where you use high heat and chemicals to extract ores, and then releasing of some nasty chemicals like sulfur dioxide. And so this is a dirty business. You know, again, I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. We need some of these products, but we really need to look at the ways we do it. And the easiest way to stop this is to stop the need by reducing our use. So some of these are very scarce. We need to find substitutes. We need to put some money into research to try to figure out ways. You know, we're looking at silicon to replace metals. Fiber optic cables are now replacing copper and aluminum wire. And then we're using plastics in very new ways, although plastic also has its own problem with trash. And actually, some of these rare metals we may not find in their use. And that means that either that technology dies or it's going to be highly expensive. So the whole point of this is trying to figure out a better way of using things. And again, I think one of the best ways is preventable is we've got to really reduce what we use. And with that, we'll stop the share and stop the recording.